Your eyes usually notice it before your brain does. You open Canva late in the evening or maybe early in the morning, and the screen feels louder than it should. The white background is strong, almost glowing, and after a few minutes, your focus starts to slip. You might lower your screen brightness, lean back, or blink more than usually, but that feeling stays. This is where dark mode starts to matter, not as a design feature, but as a working comfort. Most people assume dark mode is just a style preference, light interface versus dark interface, nothing more. But when you spend real time inside Canva, especially on a computer or a phone, the interface becomes part of your environment. It surrounds every design, every click, every adjustment. If that environment is too bright for the room you are in, it quietly works against you. On computer, Canva opens in browser and by default, it stays in the light mode. This is fine during the day, especially in bright room, but the moment the light around you drops, the contrast becomes harsh. The canvas itself stays white because your designs need that neutral space. But the menus, panels, and background do not have to stay that way. Canva gives you control over this, but the option is not where the most people expect it to be. When you open the Canva home screen, your attention naturally goes to templates, recent designs, or search bar. The theme setting is not in those areas. It lives quietly in your account options. In the bottom left corner of the screen, you will see your profile photo. It is small and easy to ignore, especially if you are focused on starting a project. Clicking that photo opens a menu that controls how Canva behaves for you, not how your designs look. Inside that menu, there is a settings option. This is where Canva groups features that affect your experience rather than your output. When you open settings, the page changes and a column appears on the left side. Many users skim past this column because they are looking for design related controls, but this is exactly where dark mode lives. The section you want is called accessibility. The name itself causes confusion. People often associate accessibility with screen readers or special needs, and they skip it without opening it. In reality, accessibility also covers visual comfort, contrast, and how easy the interface is to look at for long periods. Dark mode is part of that. At the top of the accessibility section, you will see a theme option. Canva offers three choices: light, dark, and sync with system. Light is the default and it keeps everything bright. Dark changes the interface background to deep gray and dark tones. Sync with system follows whatever your operating system is doing. If you select dark, the changes happens instantly. There is no confirmation button and no reload screen. The background behind your designs turn dark, side panels soften, and the overall interface becomes quieter. Your designs do not change at all. This is important to understand. Dark mode does not affect colors, brightness, or exports. It only affects the workspace around your designs. Many people worry that working in dark mode will make them choose brighter colors or affect contrast decision. Canva avoids this by keeping the canvas itself the same. White stays white, color stays accurate. Only the surrounding interface adapts to reduce glare. The sync with system option is useful if your computer already switched themes automatically. For example, some operating systems move to dark mode at sunset and return to light mode during the day. When Canva is synced, it follows this behavior without you needing to touch the settings again. This is especially helpful if you work long hours or move between different lighting conditions. If dark mode does not appear right away, a simple refresh usually fixes it. Browsers sometimes hold onto visual settings for a moment. Keeping your browser updated also helps because older versions might delay or ignore interface changes. Logging out and back in rarely needed, but it can resolve stubborn cases. Once dark mode is on, the difference becomes clear. During longer sessions, your eyes relax, panels stand out without shouting, text feels softer. You may not notice it immediately, but after 30 minutes or an hour, fatigue builds more slowly. It is not about being trendy. It is about reducing unnecessary strain so your focus stays on the design problem you are solving. Switching back is just as easy. You return to the same theme setting and choose light. Nothing breaks. No files change. You can move between modes depending on the time of the day or your preference. On mobile, the situation is slightly different, but the goal is the same. Phones are often used in low light environments. Late at night, early in the morning, or in darker rooms, a bright interface can feel even more intense on a small screen. Canva's mobile app includes dark mode, but again, the setting is not immediately obvious. When you open the Canva app, your attention usually goes straight to your designs or templates. The theme setting lives behind your profile icon. Tapping your profile picture opens a personal area that controls app behavior. Many users never explore this area, so they miss features that improve comfort. Inside this profile section, you will find the theme or dark mode option. When you turn on dark mode on mobile, the change is immediate. The background shifts to dark modes, menus soften, and the interface feel calmer. Just like on desktop, your designs do not change. Exported files remain exactly the same. Some phones already use system-wide dark mode. In those cases, Canva may follow automatically. If it does not, you can manually toggle dark mode inside the app. Sometimes the app needs a moment to sync with system settings, especially after updates. Dark mode on mobile has a noticeable effect on focus. The tools fade slightly into the background, letting the design stand out. This is helpful on smaller screens where visual clutter builds quickly. Reducing brightness in the interface helps your eyes stay relaxed, which matters when you are making precise adjustment with your fingers. There is also a psychological aspect. Dark interfaces tend to feel quieter. They reduce the sense of being surrounded by panels and options. This can make design work feels less overwhelming, especially when you are editing rather than creating from scratch. It is important to repeat that dark mode does not change how Canva processes colors. The app does not reinterpret your design or adjust brightness automatically. Everything you export looks the same whether you worked in light mode or dark mode. The difference exists only while you are working. Some users feel unsure at first. When switching to dark mode, the interface looks unfamiliar. This is normal. Your eyes adjust quickly. Many people who switch back to light mode later realize how bright it feels after getting used to dark mode. The adjustment period is short, but the comfort benefit lasts. Understanding why dark mode helps make it easier to decide when to use it. Bright white backgrounds create strong contrast, especially in dark environments. Your eyes have to work harder to adapt. Dark backgrounds lower that contrast pressure, which reduce fatigue over time. This does not mean dark mode is always better. In bright rooms during the day, light mode can still feel natural. The key is having control. Canva treats dark mode as a user preference, not a design feature. That is why it lives in accessibility and setting instead of the editor itself. Once you understand this, it becomes easier to manage your workspace intentionally. A common mistake is assuming dark mode will apply per team or per project. It does not. The setting applies to your account. If you switch teams or open different designs, the interface stays consistent. This is helpful because you don't need to adjust it repeatedly. Another misunderstanding is thinking that dark mode is hidden behind a paid feature. It's not. It is available to all users. You do not need a subscription to use it. It is part of the basic interface controls. There are other users who try to adjust brightness using browser extensions or phone level filters instead of using Canva's building dark mode. These tools can help, but they often affect colors or blur the screen slightly. Canva's dark mode is designed to preserve clarity and accuracy, which makes it a better choice for designs work. Once you get used to working in dark mode, you may notice that you spend less energy managing the screen and more energy thinking about layout, spacing, and content. This is the real benefit. The interface stops competing for attention. Dark mode does not solve every visual issue. If your room is extremely dark, you may still want to lower screen brightness. If your room is very light mode will still feel better. The goal is not to force one mode, but to understand when each one supports your work. Using sync with system is a good middle ground. It allows Canva to adapt automatically as your environment changes. You do not have to think about it, and the interface stays aligned with the rest of your system. In long design session, small comfort choices add up. Dark mode is one of those choices. It does not change your skills or your creativity, but it removes friction. It makes the tool quieter and easier to live inside for hours at a time. Once you know where the setting lives on both desktop and mobile, turning it on becomes second nature. You stop searching for fixes like lowering brightness or squinting at the screen. Instead, the workspace adjusts to you. If you are working late, designing on your phone in bed, or spending long hours refining layouts on your computer, dark mode is not just a visual preference, it is a practical adjustment that helps your eyes and your focus work better. Understanding how Canva handles dark mode also helps in other situations. When you know that interface settings are separated from designed output, you can explore other accessibility options with more confidence. You stop worrying that comfort changes will affect the results. By taking control of how Canva looks, you are shaping the environment you work in. That environment matters more than most people realize. When the interface supports you instead of distracting you, the work feels smoother and more manageable. Dark mode is simple to turn on, easy to turn off, and safe to use. Once you understand that, it becomes less a feature and more of a default choice for many situations. The screen stops fighting your eyes and your attention stays where it belongs, on the design itself.